Hi everyone, Melissa here. In today's video, I want to talk about signs that you are not persisting in your mental diet, or ways to recognize when you have fallen off your mental diet. So if you're wondering about this, if you're wondering if you might be guilty of this sometimes, we all can be. I think this video will really help you start to recognize it, and then you can change it. And before I get into the video, I just want to announce that I have a new course out. I'm super excited about it. It's really comprehensive and I put a lot of time into it, and I think it's really awesome. And it is all about how to create an exceptional self-concept and realize that you truly are limitless. So this course is good for new manifestors, people new to law of assumption, or seasoned manifestors who just, maybe you have some areas where you're just still struggling in, or maybe you're feeling really good and you just want to see how much better you can be at this. We want to make this a lifestyle. So when you build up your self-concept and maintain a high self-concept, your manifestations are just going to flow to you easily and effortlessly. And it becomes your natural way of thinking. So self-concept is super important in manifesting, whether it's relationships, an SP, a new one, an old one, money, career, health, anything. Your self-concept is always the basis of all of it, because when we change assumptions, we are really changing our self-concept. Whatever we are accepting is true about everything. Okay? So check that out. You can find the link in the description of this video. Okay, on to this video. How to tell if you've fallen off your mental diet. This has come up a lot lately with clients, and I thought it was really important to talk about because, sometimes we can be affirming and scripting and visualizing and doing whatever techniques we enjoy and really, really spending a lot of time telling ourselves our new story, and we think we're doing it right. We think we're doing the work. We think that we are persisting all the time in our mental diet, but there's some telltale signs that show up when you're slipping off of it, and you probably don't even realize that that's what they mean. So that is the inspiration for this video. Okay, the first sign that you have fallen off your mental diet. And when I say mental diet, for anyone that's new here, I mean the new story you're telling yourself about your desires, the new truth. When we talk about mental diet, it's all the affirmations that make up your new story, which is that your desire is true right now. Whatever you're trying to manifest is true right now. Your mental diet is full of all the affirmations that support that truth, that new truth. Okay. So signs you've fallen off. Number one, if you are getting impatient, if you notice yourself really getting impatient, being like, why isn't this here yet? Like, really, why isn't this here yet? This is taking too long. Why isn't this here yet? That is a surefire way to notice that's a sign that you have slipped on your mental diet. Why is that a sign? Because if you truly believed that your desire was true right now, you would not be impatient that it's not here yet. When you're impatient, that is acknowledging that your desire is not here yet, is not true yet. So it's just slipping back into that old unwanted story. It's slipping back into identifying with the fact that your desire isn't true yet. Okay. So number one is impatience. If you're getting impatient, that's telling you slipped on your mental diet. Okay. And after I go through all these, I'm going to tell you how to change them, how to fix them. Okay. Number two, if you are checking the 3D, your physical reality, for evidence that your affirmations are working, that your mental diet is working. Again, when you're checking for proof, for evidence, that is slipping on your mental diet, because that's acknowledging, again, I don't have my desire yet. It's not true yet. I need to look and see, what kind of movement's going on. Okay. Nothing's showing up. I'm going to try to see if I can find any little hope that something is showing up. And, you know, checking the 3D, this could also include signs. You know, if you are constantly looking for signs, you're going to keep yourself, if you're constantly looking for signs that your manifestation is coming or that your desire is true, you're going to keep yourself constantly in the loop of always looking. Because again, that's acknowledging that it's not true yet. It's not true right now. If you are using your physical reality, your 3D circumstances, and making them mean that they are a sign that your manifestation is true, that's different. That's okay, because you're acknowledging it, but you're deciding still that your desire is true right now because of it or in spite of it. So see how it's coming from a different perspective? You really want to try to check in with yourself if you're noticing any of these things that I'm mentioning, and ask yourself, what's my intention behind this? What meaning am I giving this? Because if it's anything other than your desire is true right now, you got to change it. Okay, the next one, manipulating the 3D. So if you are trying to change things in your physical reality, if you're trying to change somebody's mind, if you're trying to force something to happen or not happen, or be a different way in your physical reality, that's a sign that you slipped off your mental diet. Because again, you're only trying to force things or change things in your physical world because you don't believe that they're true yet, that what you want is true yet. You're still believing what you don't want is true, and that means you need to change something. You need to take some action to change something to make it be true. But the action all comes up here. So if you're trying to manipulate the 3D in any way, beep, beep, hold up. That means you've fallen off your mental diet. I'm going to make a little buzzer. You know, like that little button from that game Taboo. Every time you fall off your mental diet, beep, just jolts you right back into, oh, got to get back on track. Okay, the next one, getting triggered. Getting triggered by something means that when whatever triggered you, you made it mean something you didn't like. You made it mean something you didn't want. You made it mean it was opposite of your desired truth. So I want to be clear here. I'm not saying it's never okay to get triggered. We are human. It happens. It's okay to have emotions and feelings. But the trick is, notice when you're getting triggered, and then beep, that means I fell off my mental diet. I was thinking something that was contrary or against my desires. Got to get back on track. Okay. So anytime you feel triggered, try to stop yourself, do what you need to do to feel better, then stop yourself and ask, what was I just thinking about this that made me feel triggered? Because that's part of my unwanted story. That doesn't match up with my mental diet. Get back on those affirmations. Along the same lines of triggers would be spiraling. If you are spiraling out of control and just feeling terrible and something, your trigger just led to an emotional outburst or a breakdown, that's okay. Acknowledge it, process it how you need to in a healthy way. Let those emotions pass through you. When you start to feel better, beep, that's your sign you got off your mental diet. Got to get back on track, okay? So get back on track with those affirmations for your new story, supporting that your desire is true right now. Another sign that you have fallen off your mental diet is, and this sometimes can be a consistent thing that is showing up for you. So if it is, I highly recommend you work on your self-concept, because that is the root of all of this. But if you find yourself in victim mode a lot, and what I mean by victim mode is, if you are always, nothing ever works out for me, I can't have what I want, maybe you're feeling depressed, maybe you're jealous of other people because their life is so great and yours is just falling apart, and why do all these people get back together at their piece but I can't, or why do all these people have all this money but I don't, and you just find yourself identifying as a victim, and a victim to circumstance. Life just happens to me, I have no control over this, everything bad always happens, anything like that, where you just feel like you are the brunt of everything bad and you are a victim. Beep, 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 big time beeps on that one. You have fallen off your mental diet. and you are just forgetting your power. You've completely stepped out of your power, and your power is that you are the operant power of everything. You are the director of your experience of your reality. Your reality is only a projection of your assumptions, beliefs, thoughts. So when you change those, your reality changes, circumstances change, people change, things change, but you just forgot that, and you've slipped way down into this victim mentality. So that's a big indicator that you have fallen off your mental diet. You might think you're persisting, but if you're feeling that way, you are identifying more with thoughts that you don't like, with thoughts that don't match your desires. Okay, another thing that could mean you've fallen off your mental diet is talking about unwanted circumstances with friends or family or anybody. Excuse me. So if you are affirming all day, but then you go out to have drinks with your friends and you're talking the entire night about how SP is not talking to me anymore, I'm rejected, they're doing this and this and this with somebody else, or my boss is terrible, I'm never going to get a raise, I hate my job. If you are verbalizing your unwanted story to other people, you got off your mental diet. Now, there's two ways to handle this. One, you just don't talk about stuff that you don't want because you want to be focusing on the truth of what you do want. Or two, if you're confronted with a situation where people just bring it up, you talk about it, you be present in that moment, you say what you need to say, you try to maybe change the conversation as quickly or easily as you can, and then in your mind, you're affirming the opposite. So let's say someone says, oh, have you talked to so-and-so? I saw they're dating somebody else. You can be like, oh no, I don't know. And then in your mind, they're not dating anybody else. They're dating me. We talk all the time, So if you're vocalizing your unwanted bad circumstances to anybody, that's an indicator you fell off your mental diet. Okay. Another indication that you have fallen off your mental diet is if you are stalking on social media, or if you are using social media and it's making you feel bad. It's making you feel like a victim. It's making you feel powerless. It's making you go down the rabbit hole of assumptions about things and people that just aren't what you want, that don't feel good. So a lot of times, for something that you're trying to manifest that you're emotionally attached to, if it involves other people, it's wise to take a break from social media, because unless you can be disciplined enough in your mind to be indifferent to what you're seeing and make it mean that it works in your favor, that it aligns with your desires, social media can be a big trigger. So pay attention to how you're reacting regarding social media, because it could be making you fall off your mental diet and you may not even realize it. Okay. And then the last thing I have here for noticing if you've fallen off your mental diet is reacting to circumstances in a way that does not align with your desires. So in general, when things happen in your physical experience, if you are right away taking things personally or assuming the worst case scenario or getting mad and frustrated or feeling bad, any bad feelings are coming up, that's an indicator you've fallen off your mental diet. That's an indicator that you are currently in that circumstance accepting something is true that you don't want, that you don't like, because your reaction wouldn't be that way if it was something that you wanted, that you liked. Now, in life, there can be lots of crazy circumstances. There can be scary ones, there can be bad ones. The trick is you want to be present, you want to acknowledge what's happening, feel however you need to feel, but then you get on top of your thoughts about it. If you need to be mad or sad or scared in that moment, that's okay. We are human, we have emotions, we are meant to feel them. That is part of our human experience. But the trick then is going in your mind and deciding what you're going to believe is true about those circumstances. Changing your mind about however you reacted before. And if the only thing you can tell yourself is, maybe I can't see it right now, but I know this is just working in my favor. This is part of the bridge of incidents. Get me what I want. This is just getting me my manifestation. This just means my manifestation is true. I probably can't see right now, but I'll probably find out later how it all plays out. You know, that's a fun thing to do once things do manifest, is you can reverse engineer them and be like, oh, well, if that didn't happen, then that wouldn't have happened. And then that person wouldn't have done that or said that. And then we wouldn't even, you know, I wouldn't even have this manifestation right now. So if circumstances are showing up and they're triggering you, making you react in a way that you don't like, they're making you feel bad, they're making you feel mad or scared, whatever, acknowledge them, process those feelings, get back on track with your mental diet. Start deciding something better is true about them than what you originally thought, okay? And that's how the circumstances will shift, and you'll end up experiencing the best outcome that aligns with your desire because you shifted it in your mind. Okay, so now that we talked about some signs that you may have slipped on your mental diet or not persisting in your mental diet, ways to fix them. So in general, the biggest thing is stepping back into your power. So whatever way you have that helps you to do that, do it. Any techniques you like to use, maybe you meditate, maybe you work out, maybe you listen to great music, maybe you know, do a hobby of yours. Find ways to start lifting your spirits, find ways to start feeling better, and then get back on track with that mental diet. Start affirming what you want is true right now. No matter what all those things, no matter what sign showed up. Nope, you know, gently just redirect your mind. Oops, okay, I noticed I slipped off here. That's okay. It's not going to ruin anything. I just need to get back on track with my mental diet. Maybe I thought that was what was true before, but that's not what's true now. This is what's true instead. And then you persist in your new story. So when any one of these things is happening, you acknowledge it, you notice it. That's a huge part of it. Noticing it is half the battle, right? So notice it. And then when you're ready, redirect your mind back to what you desire to be true now instead. So it's just, you know, try to be gentle with yourself. When we are trying to manifest something we're really emotionally attached to, or when we're new to manifesting consciously, it can feel super frustrating and hard and sometimes even impossible. But just be gentle with yourself. That is the work. The work is changing your mind. The work is convincing yourself of a new truth in order for you to get to experience it in 3D. So if it feels hard or frustrating, you hit the right spot. That's a spot you need to persist in the most. That's where your mental diet is so important. So it's just noticing when you've fallen off and redirecting your attention, redirecting your thoughts back to the new wanted story, back to the desire is true right now. No matter what you can or cannot see in your 3D, it's true right now. And if you will do that, you will be sticking to your mental diet. And the more you do that, the less you're going to notice you have to do it. And it's just going to start to feel natural. Your brain is going to introduce more thoughts that align with your wanted story, with your mental diet. And you're going to notice when some of these signs show up, which won't be as frequent, but when they do, you're going to be able to navigate them a bit better. You're going to come at them from maybe an observant perspective, and you'll maybe feel a bit indifferent about them because you know I get to decide what's true about this, and that is what determines my experience in my physical reality. So I hope this video helped you, gave you some, you know, aha moments like, oh, I didn't even realize that was me identifying with my old story when that happened. You know, that was my intention for this. So I really hope it helped you. And, you know, be gentle with yourself. We don't get everything perfect right away. You know, this is learning a new way of thinking. It's a lifestyle shift. So it's okay if you slip a few times. You know, we're human, we all do it. And some manifestations, maybe we have more of a story going on than others. So it might feel harder, it might feel more frustrating, it might feel not as possible, but everything is possible. And it's just breaking down that old story, conquering that old story with your mental diet and noticing when you've slipped off and just get right back on. Okay. I intend this video helped you. And I think that's it. So I hope you have an amazing rest of your week, and I will see you in the next one.